Today you're going to find out how to start a successful YouTube channel with basically no money. You'll be able to achieve a similar look to this £1,000 setup right here with something that 87% of people have sitting right in their pocket. And that would be a smartphone, of course, which is what I'm recording on right here. Now, looking back at the early days of some of the biggest faces on the platform, video quality was a much greater issue than it is today, with our phones managing to record in HD and 4K. But if video quality is no longer the issue, then what is the secret behind the professional look? Well, you'll need more than just your camera, with lighting, audio, your environment, shot composition, and other elements all making a massive difference. To set up your phone for recording, it's now easy to get a hold of affordable tripods to set your camera up at eye level. And a quick bonus tip, if you're filming a talking head video, make sure your body and arms are seen in the shot, because your body language does 90% of the talking. For the gamers, commentary and tutorial channels who may be sitting in front of a computer, the best option might actually be a webcam, with the Logitech C920 being an all-time favorite of YouTube creators. Now, even though it's completely unseen, audio is actually the most important aspect of any video. And despite me having this fancy looking mic in front of me, I've actually been using this little guy the whole time. Thankfully now it's not so expensive to achieve great audio with budget lapel mics like the Boya BY-M1 going for less than $20. And for those looking for soundtracks for the background music of their videos, do not go to search on YouTube royalty-free soundtracks, because in the future, sometimes they end up not being so royalty free and your channel pays for it. The most reliable library to get your music from would be, of course, YouTube's audio library, where there are many options to choose from. But if you're looking for something different outside of YouTube, you can go to websites like Pixabay, Pexels, or Incompetech if you're looking for more. Now, when it comes to video editing, there are a lot of misconceptions that people have, and one of them is feeling the need to overload your video with fancy effects like this and spend lots of money on expensive subscriptions. Good news is you don't actually have to pay a single penny with programs like Capcut and Davinci available for free. If you prefer editing on mobile, Capcut is your best friend, and you'll even have motion graphics templates to work with, which take much longer to animate on even paid software like Adobe After Effects. But if you're on PC, go no further than Davinci, because once you get good, you could be producing videos like Mati Boya and Life of Riza, who've both use Davinci to build massive audiences. Now, there's no point in editing videos that nobody clicks on, and your thumbnails are just as important as your edit. And despite Photoshop being absolute S tier when it comes to making thumbnails, it's F tier when it comes to the price. An absolute robbery, to say the least. Thankfully, of course, there's a couple of sneaky free options that can still produce a professional finish. The first option is Canva, and Canva is actually what we use at 1 of 10 to create the thumbnails for our podcast channel. There's a lot of free graphics to use, you can upload your own images, and with Canva Pro you can easily remove backgrounds in a single click. Another free option is Photopea, which is kind of a website-like version of Photoshop. But to make good thumbnails, you need to study good thumbnails, and the way I do that is by using the 1 of 10 search to find high-performing viral videos across all niches. And then when I find a thumbnail format I like, I'll use the similar thumbnail button to do a deeper dive into how it might work for my own ideas. Finally, I'll bookmark the thumbnail so I can always come back to my own personal collection of winning thumbnails when I need inspiration. The great thing with 1 of 10 is you get an overall idea of what's performing across all niches, rather than just what YouTube pushes out to you based on your own profile and algorithm. If you're looking to save hours of research and build your own collection of winning ideas and thumbnails, you can use the code T50 for 50% off 1 of 10 right now. But of course, this is a budget video, and if you're not looking to spend any money, we've got you covered with a free option too. And that's the 1 of 10 extension that helps you identify the best performing videos from channels you're researching on YouTube. Take this video here from Kat. She doesn't have a crazy high cost setup, but the idea carried the video to over 100,000 views. You can download the free extension through the link in the description. But all of these budget-friendly options actually come to nothing unless you're aware of these next things. You see, even with a really expensive camera, a great microphone, and high-end editing software, my video could end up looking like this. I'm actually using the exact same equipment here, and this is what happens if you don't know what you're doing. So hold on and let me just give you some quick tips on how to use your budget-friendly equipment in the most professional way possible. First is lighting, of course. Now, bad lighting ruins any scene, and if you're looking for a free option, well, everyone has a window and daylight. For talking head footage, you'll want to sit facing the source of light, or for a slightly more cinematic look, have the source of light to the side. Depending on the time of day and weather, the light might vary in brightness, with bright light resulting in harsh shadows. If you don't want this, you can actually use a white sheet to diffuse the light, which can result in a far softer look. And speaking of looks, keep your environment tidy and free from anything that might distract your audience away from your content. When presenting, it's also great to think of your YouTube personality as a slightly exaggerated version of yourself. I'm kind of more just speaking like this all the time, bit softer with a bit less energy. Remember that if you are presenting information with little to no enthusiasm, your audience just will also lose interest and just won't watch. The next secret I have up my sleeve involves turning into a ghost. You see, most people's living spaces aren't really built for professional audio, so throwing a cover over your head can actually work as a personal kind of sound booth. But if you can't record yourself as a ghost, make sure your mic is close enough to your mouth, obviously. Whether you're using a lapel mic like this or a standalone mic like I have in front of me here. Finally, there are a few free options out there for enhancing your audio online, so you can run your audio files through tools like this audio enhancer from media.io to make it sound just that little bit better. Now, channels like Mr. Who's the Boss are packed full of special effects, animations, and movement that optimizes video retention for his audience. When starting out on YouTube, understand that this style of editing is not necessary for success, and there are other ways of increasing your viewer retention, such as filming extra B-roll, or simply getting so good at storytelling your audience finds it impossible to leave. Finally, for thumbnails, if you're using yourself or some form of figure, make sure that the image is a high enough quality. If you're shooting yourself, take pictures and use good lighting, just like you would in a video. Also, in the same way, if you lack a bit of expression and enthusiasm on the thumbnail, that can also reflect into your click-through rates, and no one's going to click on a thumbnail that looks boring and dull. But even with a great looking setup, there are 5 big mistakes that small channels keep making again and again that completely kill their growth. So you might want to click on this video here if you want to find out what those mistakes are and how to fix them.